you dig?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Outlawed Thoughts. We're here for the 32nd episode. We've been going for a little while now.
Yeah, take that.
So we have a couple different stories we'll dip into today. I don't know too much has been going on. I don't have I don't have a ton of stuff put to the side, so we'll kind of move
what
things.
could be happening currently? Do you know?
So we have midterms. Obviously, everybody's talking about that. I figure we'll take a break from that. We will touch on all of that.
Can't we, since it's our 32nd episode, can't we say this is brought to you by Virtual Shield? Get you a VPN because there's evil lizard people controlling people who are spying on you, and that ain't too good.
Dude, we are not sponsored by Virtual Shield,
but we're actually not. But try Anarchy because Anarchy.
They can give me money and then I'll pimp their fucking VPN.
Are you gonna do lawnmower? Hey, you know what? I'm looking for a shave.
So we were discussing a bunch of different random stuff. I guess we could go with what stories to cover first. I did have this one that's kind of brutal. Was body cam footage involving some nasty shit. That was a blind dude getting arrested, which is like stupid on so many levels.
We started another war, essentially.
Yeah. Well, there's all that too. We have boots on the ground in Ukraine. There's all that.
Did you hear what happened in Haiti?
No, I did not. Did they get a coup finally take place there? I figured that'd be happening.
No, that'd be nice, but no.
What was it?
We brought in
a headline.
Okay, I got this from Redacted. Actually, I don't even know.
Well, send me a link in the private chat to whatever story it is, and I can bring it up as we cover stuff. I want to jump into things here first, covering the Kathy Griffin gets suspended off of Twitter. This is pretty funny the way this all went down. So, Kathy Griffin gets suspended on Twitter. Twitter suspends Kathy Griffin's Twitter account for impersonating Elon Musk. Griffin, 62, appeared to be in violation of a company policy against impersonation. Kathy Griffin was the latest casualty in Elon Musk's Twitter takeover as the comedian's account was suspended Sunday. Aren't comedians supposed to be funny? Griffin, 62, changed her profile name to Musk and appeared to be promptly banned from the social media site. Despite her handle showing her own Kathy Griffin name, the moniker by her blue checkmark said Elon Musk, which goes against the company's policy against impersonation. So, shortly after this happened, another person got banned off of Twitter. And who might this be? Can we guess? Well, it's none other than
West.
No. This was H3H3.
Oh,
Productions.
Ethan
Klein got nuked. I got my DMs up. Ethan Klein got nuked off of Twitter for doing the exact same thing, changing his name to Elon Musk. Now, he did take it a step further, tweeting about Ghislaine Maxwell and a bunch of weird shit, and ended up getting himself nuked. So that was funny. It seems like Elon's just saying if you're impersonating people, you have to say so. And in Ethan's case, he did put it in his bio, but I think Elon's saying you have to put it in the name. Like, you have to know the person's a parody account. So interesting new way of doing things, but I figured it was worth reporting on because it's kind of funny, and no one's getting banned that I care about in that regard.
Who should I impersonate?
And then I brought that up, so we'll peg that here while we're talking about other stuff because I've got some other war related shit too to cover. Yeah,
I'm gonna impersonate Donald Trump when he announces and say vote for Dave Smith. You're like, oh, he's back, but he endorses Dave Smith.
I guess I can crack open.
Orange man goes anarchist.
So tomorrow we'll be doing a show around the same time, I think, and I think we should have CD on that one.
Yeah, and I'll be back from working the polls.
Impersonate Hassan Biker.
I could do that too. I'll be Cenk. I'll impersonate Cenk and see if I get banned.
Kareem, you need to be our Hassan. For no particular reason. It is definitely nothing. No other reason. We just need you to be our Hassan.
I'll impersonate Ben Shapiro.
Oh God, I think that's supposed to be my job. You play Hassan, I play Shapiro. I think that's how this goes, right? I mean, come on here. What are we gonna swap places?
Bush was the best president. I don't want to say uncontrolled opposition. I talk really fast, and I only debate college students. All right. Well, what do you think of Crowder's tweet again? I don't know why he's hating on us.
Well, did you see the video that I put out?
Yes, I saw the video, so I know.
I guess we can play that.
He won't debate anybody of substance. This is to me what Conservative Inc. does. To me, Conservative Inc. are like bodybuilders that go to an old folks' home and push them over, like, yeah, take that, Grandma. I'm the best.
Yeah.
They go debate college students and are like, haha, he's 19. He doesn't know every geopolitical answer about everything anywhere. And then they walk around and say, like, man, I'm the king of all these ideas. I'm like, what ideas do you have? What is conservatism conserved at all? The dollar's gone. The republic's gone, regardless if you get a red wave. I know people aren't going to like that. Most of your so-called values are gone. You merge them with the left. And it's kind of funny to me that
Shank and the Young Turks carried out the Armenian genocide.
Hey, we kills the people with the government.
Wait. No, according to Cenk and TYT, the Armenian genocide didn't happen. You don't know what you're talking about. It's a fugazi. It's a farce. It just never happened.
Yep.
All right, I've got that video I made. By the way, that's up to 1,000 views. That broke 1,000 views because of our Lord and Savior Shane Hazel. He retweeted that video that I made. So
that ended up making my own, just like little snippets.
So we'll play this, I guess. Armenians, you mean armadillos? David Brady.
Liberty lockdown, we're coming for you.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, where is this at? I'm trying to find these buttons out.
Were you smoking weed before that video? Just curious.
No, not this one. That's just my hair. Everybody always assumes I'm smoking weed because I have long hair. I look like a hippie. Just kind of goes with the territory.
I was a former punk rocker. I get you.
Steven Crowder tweeted, "Libertarianism is a preventative measure. It is not a curative measure and couldn't possibly solve the issues that we have now. This is of course untrue and has been proven as such by Ludwig von Mises or Murray Rothbard, but has also been proven wrong by libertarians of today's day and age, like Dave Smith, Spike Cohen, Shane Hazel, Joshua Smith, or Angela McArdle. Now, Crowder could debate these people, or anybody, for instance, from the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire, who tweeted in response, we should instead turn to conservatism, which has conserved so much, which I think is a perfect response. Crowder is no different than the mainstream media in the sense that he's willing to take his ideas out to easy targets, people like college students, but he'll never take his debate to an actual person who can argue with him. These are the people who I just mentioned. Instead, He takes the easy road, just like so many other conservatives who are attempting to become the new mainstream media.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's the way that I put it. I probably could have done that better, but I did that in like 15 minutes. So that's just kind of how I typically
No, it was
run
good.
through
Like
stuff.
you got to the point thing. It wasn't super fancy, but you're like, hey. And yeah, conservatism hasn't conserved anything.
No. It's
And
just
to
been a shit
me,
show.
yeah, it's just it is right. It's progressivism going the speed limit. Hey, the left, and even Luke Radowski said, I agree with him. If you even get a red wave, assume there's no cheating and goes exactly the way they want, the Republicans in 5 years, give or take, will be the same place the Democrats are now. And Democrats will just be crazier.
Right.
So.
Yep, no, I'm with you there. Well, I guess we can dip into this story here. So this is a fucked up one. I'll give you guys a little bit of a heads up. This one's not going to be fun. This kind of pissed me off when I saw it, but this was disturbing body cam footage shows cop arresting legally blind man after accusing him of having a weapon in his pocket, which turned out to be his walking stick. Body cam showed 2 Florida officers arresting James Hodges, 61, after he refused to provide his ID after he was stopped on the sidewalk. Columbia County Sheriff Deputy Janie Goad had stopped Hodges because she thought he might be carrying a weapon. So, we'll play the footage here.
Hi there.
Hey.
What's this in your back pocket? I just saw you walking it.
It's a navigational aids. What's the problem? You a tyrant?
Yeah, I am actually. What's your name and date of birth?
I don't have to give that unless
Yes,
I'm
sir.
due.
I was investigating.
You have reasonable.
Do you want me to put you in
suspicion.
handcuffs right now? Yes, sir, I do.
What is your suspicion?
It looks like you're carrying a gun in your back pocket. I'm stopping to make sure you're carrying it properly. You don't
have you
to...
ensured that it's not a firearm?
No, you keep turning so I can't see it. You don't have to be a dick to me.
Well, you're being one to me.
No, sir. I'm
Have
doing
a
my
good day.
job.
Am I detained?
Yeah, you are. What's your name and date of birth?
It does not matter.
Yes, sir, it does.
Do you have a crime?
Would you like me
Call
to
your
put you in?
supervisor,
He's right
please.
here.
All right.
Don't you know?
Sir, what's the stop you for? For a walking stick.
So,
And it could look like a weapon. She asked you to really present it, okay?
So, now you've got Little Miss Sunshine here telling this guy that, well, I'm making sure you got to get your ID and your information because you might have a weapon. And then what does the fucking supervisor come by? The same exact fucking sentence just backs up the officer. This is exactly what I think every like libertarian talks about when they say like, it's not a fucking bad apple thing. Like, no, they will just defend each other because they're both fucking cops, even though you know that that is fucking absurd. Like, the second that cop knows that that's not a gun, that should be the end of that fucking entire conversation, anything. Like, it's fucking absurd. Even if it was a gun, like, so they're claiming open carry because it's sticking out the back. What, did you think it was a fucking rifle? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, we must end qualified immunity and women's suffrage. Conservatism does not conserve government regulation and control. Yeah. No, exactly. All right, we'll resume this. I want to finish this, but both these cops are pieces of shit.
Okay. Now she's asking me for ID. Okay. I don't need the ID unless there's reasonable articulated suspicion that I have committed a crime, am committing a crime, or about to do a crime. Sir, and her suspicion was that you were armed, okay? And she's asking you for your ID. Well, now she has verified that I am not armed. Okay. So there is no problem. You got your ID or not? I do have my ID, but you don't need it. Okay. Okay.
all right, let's go.
I want your name and badge number 2, sir.
Have a seat.
You want to pick my property up, please?
I sure will, after you have a seat.
Yeah, both these cops are the girl especially, just a condescending cunt. Like, The fact that this is how police act to individuals that they are serving is the problem with police. I have seen countless footage of cops instigating, escalating these conversations into full-out shootouts that didn't need to happen in the first place. Like, it's like, and this is a perfect example of it. Like, okay, maybe they stopped this guy for his walking stick because he's fucking partially blind, and then, you know, maybe has anxiety because you just stopped him and started harassing him for his ID, and then he does actually resist arrest, and now they've got an excuse to beat the shit out of this guy. Like, and that happens all the fucking time. So, you know.
Yeah, it does. It does. It happens for two reasons, in my opinion. One, people don't understand. People didn't read the Second Amendment. Two, they have a monopoly on force. So that's what Dr. Robert Murphy would say. This isn't a result of having a nation of laws. This isn't a result of having law enforcement. This is a result of having one group that has a monopoly on law enforcement. That's
I'm
awesome.
gonna smoke dabs at a baby on his head. Hold on.
Yeah, hit that. I'm gonna drink mineral water. But
I'm gonna meet up with Kareem one day, and I'm gonna drug him, and that's gonna be Kareem. This is gonna be the plan. We're gonna Ari Shafir Kareem.
God damn it.
This is acid bomb. Well, I think getting acid thrown on you is kind of like, God, I could go really dark with that.
Yeah, that is pretty messed up. But what does the Second Amendment say? A well-regulated what is
so what the cops think those two cops think the fucking Constitution say is I volunteers tribute.
Oh God. But yeah, the Constitution, to me, someone made this from the LP, actually, that call from Pennsylvania. It's a good point.
I'm letting you know that I just broke off way too big of a piece of shatter, and I'm about to get completely.
See if you agree with me on this, or see if I'm a crazy person, because I'm sure conservatives are going to think I am insane now, if they haven't already, because it said the red wave's BS. But police and military are unconstitutional because it says a well-regulated militia. What's a militia? It's basically the Minutemen. It's you and your boys, after you're done smoking that, getting on Discord and saying I'm down to boot. Or not doing that and saying I'm down to boot. That, to me, essentially is how defense should be handled. It shouldn't be handled by central institutions, especially ones that have a monopoly on force. Is that reasonable?
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
it should be literally your buddy saying, hey, we're going to do policing because, I don't know, city council said, hey, you guys are well-armed and well-equipped men. You're ready to go, and let's...
Yeah, I think ultimately all of those things like policing and taking care of community issues in lieu of the federal or state government are going to be done in a ton of different ways. It's going to be done by communities and charities and churches and organizations and just random people. And a lot of it will be based in capitalism because they want some money, and some of it will be based in community solely that doesn't get paid. I'm sure you'll have both.
Yes, and for people who watch this who think I'm a nut, threat management has not had one problem in Detroit, which is a horrible city. It's a tough city to live in. I don't think anybody wants to go vacation on Detroit. Second.
Oh, come on, Kareem.
I think
racist.
I think this is critically important to mention is that in the West, in America, not in I get it, the so-called Wild West. The Wild West wasn't that wild. If you had your cattle stolen, you would have private detectives, and they would carry guns, and sometimes they would shoot the perpetrator.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. So yeah, I guess we can cover this story a little bit more because I think there's more that can be read here on this actual breakdown here. It was interesting to me, so this is a booking photo. James Hodges, 61, was arrested for resisting arrest without violence after he refused to provide them with his identification. Columbia County Sheriff Deputy James Goad. This is the girl that we hear in the video. You can see the condescension in her fucking face. Hodges' arrest affidavit said the altercation started after Goad saw him cross the street despite the light showing a don't walk signal. So notice that none of that was mentioned in the video you just saw, right? But that's what she puts in her report. In the video, she could be heard telling Hodges she stopped him because she thought he had a weapon in his back pocket. Nothing to do with the headlight. So this was the equivalent of a stop and frisk, right? Because she can just make up whatever excuse after the fact for why he actually stopped him. He immediately told her it was a navigational aid, then voiced his frustration at the stop. And that's the video we saw. So, yeah, pisses me off. I'm going to try to keep updated on it. Hopefully there's something that I can see that we can look at. Hello. Good night, everybody. Take it easy, Rise of Liberty. Take it. Shout out for all the people in the chat hanging out. I know this is a late show. We're going to start doing shows a little bit earlier on off days, and then late days will be these shows. So it'll be kind of offset.
We need to. We definitely need to.
Because I will be hopefully on a... When I eventually move, and this is a little inside baseball, but when I eventually move here from Alaska or change this job soon, which hopefully will be within the next 5 months or so, like permanently. With that done, I will have a morning schedule with whatever job I get, hopefully. So I'll no longer be working nights. If that is the case, I'm going to have a lot more time to do morning shows and midday shows and be editing stuff for other people and a ton of other things. So it's been kind of chaotic getting that set up, but that's the goal at this point. And I'll move the show and the channel forward a lot more. I know I've been I need to get a website going. That'll become outlawedthoughts.com. That's going to house a bunch of writing and hopefully an interactive map for libertarian events, which is a whole nother thing that I want to do. But yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff rolling, hopefully, that can get going. Pensacola roommate. Pensacola and Panama City are the two areas that I'm looking at moving over there in Florida. And either one of those work really well because Pensacola is close to a bunch of other business on the other side where I have some friends in other states. And then it's close enough, like, driving in Alaska is a lot different than driving in Florida. So for somebody to drive from like one city to another in Florida, like people in Florida think is a long time, but it doesn't really feel like it because I think you're just kind of used to the distance driving from Alaska.
Yeah,
so
who knows?
It was fine that way. So it's easy to get from Pensacola to Bay County to do libertarian stuff and a lot of other stuff down that way. Leighton wants to become Florida man. No, I want to become Alaska man in Florida. Hopefully I can bring a little bit of my stuff with me. But no, I want to start a business down there and some other stuff. And eventually I'd love to have I'd like to have a setup with both so I can kind of go back and forth, maybe eventually. Rob better than Pat. Greater than basically Rob and Pat both have places in different spots in Florida. So there's well, I know there's I want to get involved with LP stuff down there and stuff too, so that's gonna help make my decision as far as that goes. So it'll be fun though. I want to try to hopefully start a business and some other things. I've been looking into like printing stuff. There's nobody to print signs in the libertarian movement, and there's also nobody to do shirt supplying and print supplying. So I've been kind of looking at both those things eventually. So maybe move down there, work a little bit, start shoveling money in the hole and buying printing supplies and shit like that and marketing stuff. But yeah, a whole lot of that kind of stuff in the future. Wherever I move, hopefully we'll have a nicer studio than just this shit back wall and stuff. But it is what it is. I'd like to build a whole like little studio would be the goal with like multicam setup and make it look really nice. So we'll get that set up here. Yeah, like I said, I'd like to move as soon as possible, but it's just a financial thing and as everything else goes on. Speaking of Florida, DeSantis got monikered by Trump finally.
Yeah, I was going to ask you actually about two things. I was going to ask you what you think of Kyrie Irving, because that to me is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
We could talk about Kyrie.
And I was going to ask you about Ron DeSanctimonious. I'm like, is that a jab? Is he just goofing off? Like, I think people, I don't know why he would actually say that.
All you need is an Alinsky green screen behind you. Yeah, so I could do the green screen route, but I really don't want to. I want to have like more comparable to how Ripa has his setup. Eric July, how he has like a whole kind of like studio where you can see everything and you've got to like, open. So what Biden or Trump rather gave Florida his name, or Ron DeSantis' name, Ron DeSanctimonious, which I think is fucking hilarious. But
party for the nomination like nobody's ever seen before. Let's see, there it is. Trump at 71, Ron DeSanctimonious at 10%, Mike Pence at 7. Oh, Mike's doing better than I thought.
So that is the there's been news stories ran now by CNN and Fox. I see commemorating that is now DeSantis's name. Ron DeSanctimonious. It does have a ring to it. This is another funny video I saw this week, which was I think we'll play a couple times, but this man runs into door while trying to escape robbery. So the story goes here. Kareem broke into the Gucci store. And then this is
I didn't even get any Gucci's. What the hell?
Check this out. A thief in Seattle knocks himself out. Trying to escape. Watch this dude. Boink!
Criminal stupid, man.
We gotta see that again. You gotta see that again. Ready and
Man, you
ready and bop. He's just out.
God.
Bam. It doesn't get, the dude did not see the glass door. He just fucking KO'd himself. After stealing high-end merchandise from the store, the 17-year-old slams into the door trying to escape. Police say the teen is part of a retail theft ring that has been busy in the area. So this motherfucker just KO'd his shit, man. Okay. I guess we have this redacted, dozens killed as U.S. armored vehicles attack Haiti fuel blockade.
Mm-hmm. That's something.
Do we have a news story?
I can't find one, but I don't. These guys have been pretty on. Yeah.
No, I know redacted, but I want to get.
I'm trying to find one. I get all of the ones I find are like, oh, the U.S. is like the good guy. I'm like, okay, mainstream media, thanks. Thanks, corporate media. I know you support the war machine.
Yeah. So I have from Sky News, Haiti Prime Minister Ariel Henry scrambled away from apparent assassination attempt. This was from January 4th, 2022. So this is from a while ago. Yeah. Everything I'm seeing is from quite a while ago. But because that YouTube video is just the talking, there's just subtitles. It's not like I don't see much Okay, I guess we can check this out. Yeah, that's fine. Redacted has been on point. All right, we'll look at it.
Have they?
Yeah, that's Joe said it good, so we'll check it out.
Okay.
Politionnaire, Genève en famille et alliés, main une main tout. Nous pas jamais négocier. Niveau quiconque moun al négocier avec Ariel Henry. Nous prenons décision ça entre nous, la force révolutionnaire, Genève en famille et alliés, main une main tout. pour permettre gaz la sortir. Et nous voulons pour peuple la connaître. Ce n'est pas une décision nous prend parce que nous négocions quoi que ce soit avec Ariel Henry.
Following that press conference, I had a chance to sit down with Jimmy Cherizier, known as Barbecue, and ask him what he thinks about a potential U.S. invasion of Haiti, and also for his response to UN and U.S. sanctions against him. Take a listen to what he said. Sitting down here with Jimmy Barbecue Cherizier, leader of the Revolutionary Forces of the G9 family and allies, who has been sanctioned by the United States, the United Nations, and top figures in the United States government have said that he is the target of a possible U.S. invasion. So, Jimmy, how do you respond to this situation that the U.S. essentially wants to take you out?
Nous-mêmes, en Haïti, Haïti est un pays qui est indépendant depuis 1804. Son terre liberté. Et des salines te goumé pour te ba nous terre ça pour nous te libre. Mais dommage, année après année, moun qui vient faire politique yo, n'a fait mauvais politique, yo détruit pays. Yo détruit pays et yo vinn rendre pays vinn sous dépendance série de l'autre pays, spécialement les États-Unis. Et nous-mêmes en Haïti, nous juste connaissons Haïti son terre liberté liée. Et nous juste connaissons que des salines, t'es toujours dit, pour nous goumer jusqu'à dernier goutte sans nous, pour nous pas jamais retourner dans l'esclavage.
Yeah, so it sounds like the U.S. doing their normal regime change.
Yeah, but nobody knows
Shuffle.
about this. Like, I've talked to people about it, and they're like, oh.
Yeah. Well, it seems to me, well, you know, the truth is, like, I think that's going to be happening in so many, like, smaller countries, because as the economy gets worse and worse in the U.S. and it fluctuates over to other countries, they're one of the only ways they can, like, get rid of that in the short run is putting all these smaller countries into debt or just taking over the industries that they have completely.
Yeah,
so in Haiti, it's
anything-
probably mines and stuff along those lines.
anything to keep the empire and the war machine going, it seems.
Yeah, they got to keep cash coming through the door.
My problem is that it's like they know, I'm pretty sure even they know they can't sustain it. So I'm like, instead of doing all this damage, can we just stop and then like pull the patient off life support? I know that.
Yeah, I just don't think that's how their brains work. I think
Yeah, the
their whole
neocons
thing
and
is,
the neo-libs, I honestly feel like I'm going to maintain the empire even if I have to destroy everything, which is kind of
they're just going to keep running the system into the ground because it doesn't matter whether it fails. It just matters that they're not holding the bomb when it does.
correct. And that's my same issue where like Luke was talking about this and then Redacted report on it. And I think they've been on point. They're saying, oh, the U.S. is trying to tell Zelensky for peace talks or pushing for peace talks, even though he pushed a law saying peace talks. I'm like, oh, wait, that's good. I'm like, wait, whoa. Why would they say peace talks all of a sudden? They're flip-flopping. And what Redacted was saying, and I'm like, oh, wait, I should have known better, is that they want you to say you want peace because if you're pretending you want peace, well, we can keep this conflict going at like a medium level, which is where I think they want. They don't want nuclear. They want to play chicken. Like, oh, let's just keep the fighting going. Say you want peace. Say, oh, we're being attacked. So we can keep shuffling weapons and we can keep trying to help you. Because if you say, no, we're free or everything's good, well, then they can't shuffle weapons anymore. So that's my...
Well, isn't that what they're kind of doing in Iran at this point? Is like they're kind of attempting to drum up a revolution within the country to throw off the political sways because of the oil conversation that's been brought up within the U.S., where it's like, well, hey, you're selling oil to people we don't like, and we can't get you to stop, so instead we'll just start a fucking uprising in your country. Like, it's like, yeah, I'm okay. I don't think that needs to be going on, but the truth is like none of that shit will ever. Oh, God. UFOs. In the chat. 1 second. I got to highlight that message. They got a video about UFOs. What's going on with that? We can look it up. All right. Redacted. They did a thing on aliens, apparently. Let's check it
they've
out.
done some interesting stuff. They've done some cool stuff.
They do so many fucking videos, it's hard for me to find it. I'm trying. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Oh, UFOs or UAPs may now be considered hostile. Yeah, so this is me and my brother, younger brother, have gone down this rabbit hole involving the whole Tic Tac phenomenon and those being seen everywhere. And the best that I can state is this.
I see them everywhere.
From 1950 onward, those seem to be the same crafts, or at least similar. And one thing that I've mentioned in regard to that is it might not be that these are individual aliens, but rather just individual militaries that have developed this, or they are legitimately UFOs that are just not being pursued by the government, which that doesn't make any sense, because you'd think this much. If these things are tangible and flying around out there, somebody's going to shoot one down or grab it. But seemingly that's never happened, and that's always kind of confused me. So it's interesting. Okay, well, maybe I'll have to check that out. I wasn't able to find it immediately, but I'm just on the redacted.
Man, the truth is out there. They kidnapped me, and they told me we're all one and to vote libertarian. And they told me Shane Hazel is going to be governor tomorrow. Maybe I'll hey Leighton, you want to go down to Georgia at like 4 a.m. and be like, stop the count, and then just write in a bunch of ballots like, oh yeah, we found some more votes. I would love to see Georgia under Hazel. I'll go live there. Can I buy a tank without a license? Yeah.
This Rob kind of puts out my sentiments pretty well here. Government is telling us it's aliens. Now I don't believe. Yeah. It's almost one of those things where we know the government was involved in spreading disinformation within the alien kind of conspiracy community in the past a lot. And it's like, I get really touchy-feely whenever the government is being like, yeah, you're totally right here. No, you're definitely correct. They're definitely real. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Now I'm kind of like, why do you want us to believe this?
Just the government says it like the sky's blue. Like, damn it. No, it's not. Listen, it's kind of, I'm colorblind. It's green.
Cerulean.
Like, no. Like the government still thinks kill switch engage is good. All right, I'm done with metal. What about classical music? Who's that Mozart motherfucker?
Yeah,
but I will say this. To me, yeah, I believe in aliens, but I think government's trying to distract you. They're like, potential nuclear war, invading Haiti, inflation, this, midterms. Ooh, look, there's aliens. Like, oh my God, isn't that cool? Like anything to get you not to look at what they're doing. Is it ironic that when Rand Paul was grilling Dr.
Presidential election
So I got this story. This was interesting.
He doesn't support the fracking, man. Oh, wait, he does support the fracking.
Pennsylvania Senate, Fetterman's camp sues over undated absentee ballots. John Fetterman and his camp estimate thousands of ballots will not be counted because they are missing or have wrong date. Pennsylvania Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman's campaign filed a lawsuit against Pennsylvania elections officials on Monday demanding updated or misdated absentee ballots are counted in the midterms. So he's suing for them to count ballots that are improper. I mean, what the fuck? One giant distraction. The point was that they consider them hostile. The government will convince the public on more Space Force spending. Yeah, exactly, right. And that's exactly what I'm saying. It's like they're gonna just use it as an excuse to spend money. NASA will be revamped, and they'll start giving out Nazis checks again. Government
Hey
loves
man,
doing that.
that's an expensive Adobe sweet suit, isn't it? 'Cause that's a lot of Photoshop. That's as good as Photoshop, I guess.
Yeah, they are. They're good at that.
But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen in Pennsylvania. I don't really care. To be fair, I interviewed Eric Gerhardt. That's the only good guy. To me, just my perspective. Fetterman and Oz are just people who will say they're hardcore grifters. I support fracking. I don't support fracking. Oh, I support. Oh, Oz, do you support abortion? Oh, yeah. No, I don't. Why? Oh, because I'm running. If the roles were reversed, he'd say something different. So they're just going to tell you whatever you want. I also feel that the governor's race here, essentially, they're going to tell you whatever they want you to hear from Mastriano and Shapiro. So it's a lot of appealing to emotions. And it's not really going to change much because I know what these guys have done behind the scenes. It's not good.
Yeah. No, I'm in agreement there. I don't think the midterms really affect much long term. It's one of those sad truths, that they don't like to admit, but it's just like it doesn't. Your governor and senator is ultimately not going to do as much as you think. I mean, sure, with your COVID stuff, that came into play more, but especially now, we're just talking about kind of, I made a tweet a couple days ago at this point where I was like, the state governments don't really exist anymore. They're just tools for the federal government. And what I mean by that is like they don't operate in the same way a state government used to operate. Like they might have laws that separate themselves, but if the federal government wants to utilize the state government, they just use it as a tool or they buy it in a bunch of different states.
Well, what is the etymology even of a Republican? Coming from republic. What's a republic? It's a small, if you want to call it, and I'm not going to say necessarily area, but it's not a large or a highly centralized thing that you govern. So a Republican really is someone who rules over or governs a small government. That is not really the case anymore. They're all really powerful central institutions. Even to me, Harrisburg has just gotten way out of control. If you don't curb back the institutions, in my opinion, eventually get rid of them, we're still going to run into this same transfer of power because someone turned evil. Who thought that would happen? Could it be the institutions are putting in? No, it's the person was bad. Let's just keep cycling through. And really, I think this is what Tolkien was talking about, like with the rings. You just substitute the ring for a Senate seat. And I said, everybody else.
Tolkien's work is. I don't know. I find his writing a bit frustrating, but
maybe it is. But the general concept is good. It's sound.
Yeah, by the way, Josh just fucking ghosted me on Discord, too. I haven't got a reply back, that fucker. But we got CD coming back tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm doing a podcast.
Man, this is I've talked about this before because we were in Florida, and I was talking about at Florida Freedom Fest. I was talking about the fact that, like, my whole thing was I'm bringing on co-hosts and people who have just opened door policy to the show. And then if they're not around, I'm still streaming. I just don't care. Like otherwise.
Yeah, hey, I'm your co-host. I'm always here. So I'm battling evil.
Yes. Everybody has everybody from the Swamp Cast, all those guys. You guys all have open doors to this show. Just let me know and I can send you all links. I am I don't know. I think this show's a little more laid back, so I don't mind having it a little more chaotic. And I think it's fun to have big panels, so I think that'll definitely be something we move into in the future. I have a bunch of like shows that I'm gonna want to do on Rumble and Odyssey only, that are going over
Oh
like
yeah,
cop videos and stuff like that, which should be pretty fun.
yeah, me too. I'm gonna have to do some specifically on Rumble and Odyssey because I want to say something about a medical procedure that the establishment wants you to take.
Yeah, there's stuff that I'd like to do over there. Like I'd like to have a stream just specifically going over
I would like it
COVID
if Mark
stuff.
Passio saw my stuff and got me on the One Great Network, and I'd like it if Jonesy saw me and got me on Band.video.
Eventually, I'd like to
You want to buy
do
some
like
extra?
locals. But I know Dick Masterson is relaunching his Patreon replacement, and I really like the idea of using his because if I'm just starting out, it makes sense to do it on his stuff. That way, eventually, if people want to support stuff here, once I move and I'm actually using it to buy new camera equipment, using it to kind of grow stuff, that's where all that will go towards. And then I can start hopefully just paying people because I want to get a bunch of people paid to write scripts and edit and a bunch of other random shit and then I can just focus on recording stuff and content creation and working and doing all the normal life stuff. So it should be fun in the works stuff, but for now we're just doing the show this way and I think it works out good. So, but that being said, I don't have a ton of stories to cover tonight. I'm actually kind of out. I could go over some stuff on just
talk about Kyrie Irving.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, you're right.
That was crazy.
So,
I don't even know what he said, but I heard I guess
this is what went on. Kyrie retweeted a film that on one of the networks that is operated by Alex Jones, and the documentary that he retweeted was about African Jews and kind of in the sense of the what do you call it, the Hebrew Islam thing, the Black Hebrew
Ethiopian Jews.
I can't remember the group name. Yeah, but it's like a group. Yeah, it's a group that thinks that everybody came from Africa, so that way it's that whole thing Kanye was on. So he retweeted that, and the reaction to it was a bunch of rabbis and people telling him basically, or Jewish people and random fucking people with nothing to do with the faith on Twitter, telling him this list of things that they want him to do, which included things like which Black Hebrew Israelites. Yeah, that's it. Yep, that's the group.
So he just retweeted it. He didn't say I agree or disagree.
He didn't say anything from my understanding. He just retweeted a link to it and like, basically saying that he watched it. And so people got butthurt about it. Okay. I actually put out a tweet regarding it that I think went over people's heads for the most part, because I think it's just too much of an inside joke, but I'll put it up here. This is what I said. So if you don't know, the rabbi I'm referring to in this tweet is he runs a group called Rabbis Against Israel. So this is if anybody had to Google the name, then that was the win for me with this tweet.
Oh, okay. I see why he got in trouble now.
Yeah. So people are butthurt. He didn't do nothing wrong. He just retweeted a fucking documentary. People are fucking
to me, it's insane what they did. From what I heard, because I was watching Luke, I guess the Anti-Defamation League's like, you did this and you did this and you did.
Yeah,
he offered them like $1 million some dollars. I'm like, don't do that. And they're like, that's not enough. We need you to go to sensitivity training. We need you to meet with us. We need you to do this. We need you to go and do 10 push-ups and say you agree with us on everything. I'm like, an Anomaly was on with Clint Russell I make a good point. There are people who said way worse stuff than I'm not talking about retweeting. I don't know. It seems to me the president has made a few comments about people of a certain, race that aren't very nice. Especially if they don't support his political campaign and stuff before that. And that's well documented. That's well documented. And essentially, what gets me is Kyrie didn't say even like I can share something doesn't mean I agree 100% with it. I like the quote from Stalin: "A million people is a statistic. A death of one man's a tragedy." I think I'll reverse that, but that doesn't mean I'm pro Stalin. So I don't even know what Kyrie Irving's thinking. Maybe he watched a video. Maybe he was curious about it. Sometimes I just share stuff for people to see it, like for you to see it.
Yeah, there's no issue with Kyrie Irving retweeting this documentary. The issue is with the ADL and these
I
fucking
feel he cucked out a little
groups
bit.
reacting, and he did cuck out. He
Like,
100%
I'll give you
did.
money, I'll do anything. I'm like,
Yeah, he just
you can't
he
play
just decided to.
basketball like that. I feel this guy though has been put through the ringer. It's like
He's just paying the censors off. That's what he's doing.
fine. I like
Mhm.
what Kyrie. I mean, Kyrie didn't take the thing,
The jab.
and then he was getting in trouble for that. And then he retweeted the thing. It just seems to me they want to put this guy through the ringer for some reason. They don't like Kyrie Irving. I don't know what he did. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
I don't know.
He retweeted a tweet, and I hate to say this. I know this is going to get me in trouble, but Anomaly and Clint made this point. If I wanted to prove that I'm not in control of something or I don't own everything, and if someone criticized me, then I would do nothing. I would let it go.
Yeah.
Like if someone's
go
like,
with it.
"You're a tyrant," you're a tyrant, you're a psychopath, you're this, you're crazy, like they always said, about this person or that person who's in power who isn't. Oh, libertarians want to do this. I just wouldn't do it. I'm like, okay, whatever you think. Like I hear people like say like libertarians don't like the poor or things like that. Well, libertarians want to, do this or that or anything crazy. I just don't do anything, or sometimes I don't say anything because look, I don't want to go after them and be crazy and prove them right. It seems to me they're like, oh, Kyrie says we own everything and we control everything. Let's put the hammer down on him. I'm like, we're doing the same thing to Kanye too.
It's
like,
the Kanye thing was Kanye goes, there's a Jewish cabal working in the media to take out black men. And then right after he said that, there was a Jewish cabal who took out the black man. Like, that is literally what went on. Like, the media turned on him, completely canceled him. Like, the arguments on Twitter about Kanye were half and half. Like, Black Twitter was hilarious throughout that entire thing. And whether people want to fucking not just the hammer, but the Hebrew hammer, they went fucking biblical on him. It's
stop canceling people. And to me,
if you're an organization that stands for the cancellation of anybody, we should be shaming that organization.
From what I heard, because Anomalies looked into this more than me, he said, I've heard Ben Shapiro said like, oh, all Palestinians make our bombs, but all Israelis do is things. And I'm like, that's pretty bad.
Ben Shapiro's a piece of shit when it comes to this shit. He's a Zionist.
Yeah. And a lot of him, like Prager and all them, like, oh yeah, they're all terrorists. They all bomb.
Prager's also a Zionist. They're the same fucking. They have the same political views for Israel and the Jewish religion. It's not. They are not the spokesperson. They are not the spokespersons for all of the Jewish faith. They are a spokesperson for a part of the Jewish faith that is in charge of the government in Israel and in charge of making decisions, sort of like the Vatican is. Mm-hmm. And neither of those organizations should be allowed to have power over an entire faith.
I agree with you. I'm not going to say I disagree with everything Prager, you or Ben has said about the left, because they make good criticism.
Yeah, they make a lot of content.
That being said, it's interesting to me that, I don't think Prager said anything of that magnitude, to be fair. But I think Ben Shapiro definitely has. And nobody has ever, to my knowledge, been like, oh my God, let's cancel him or anything he's ever said.
No one will call him on his shit.
Even Kanye is like, all right, let's get all together, peace and love. I made a mistake. And I'm not saying what he said was good, but then like other people who say crazy stuff, or even Joe Biden say, oh, if you don't vote for me, you're not a certain skin color. And I'm like, okay. So that's all okay. But what Kanye says, but I'm like, give me some consistency. If you are really mad about like people saying this stuff, then actually give me some consistency, not just hate who the media tells you to hate, which is what I think a lot of people are doing. They just hate who the media tells them to hate. And I personally don't think Kanye is like super smart or anything or anything great, but I know people have said way worse stuff than what Kanye has done, way worse things that Kyrie Irving done. It seems to me they're just making an example out of these people because they don't like them, or because they just, said, something about like, oh, well, you can't say anything about, we can't talk about certain subjects, and they just hit a subject you just can't talk about.
No, I agree with you there. It's just a touchy subject that, especially with the media tied into it, becomes
even where they're from
a big problem. All right, well, everybody, we're gonna close it out there. No Josh tonight. I'll remove him from the thumbnail eventually. I'll talk to you guys later. Take it easy.
Later.
Follow me and Kareem and everything. And I'll talk to you guys later. Subscribe to the channel, because I'm trying to get over 100 subs on here so I can do some other stuff with Rumble and other platforms. So that's important. I need like 19 more people to do that. So definitely do that. And I will see you guys later. Take it easy.